What if I told you you can make money in your sleep without worrying about the hassle and bustle of investing, the stock market, bonds, and all those type of stuff? Stick with me. Today I'm going to talk to you about high yield savings accounts. Now, this is one of the things that many people they don't take advantage of, right? Now, a lot of times we tell people, or I always say, you want to make sure you have your emergency fund, right? And some people call it rainy day funds, right? Whatever you want to call it, you want to make sure you have your emergency fund. Now, there is a stipulation that you should get 3 to 6 months of savings. I always say up to 3 months should be sufficient. By then, you should know whether you can find a side hustle or something. And this is just in the event that, right, something pops up or you've lost your job. So they always say that when you're thinking about coming up with your emergency fund, you want to have at least 3 to 6 months of your expenses, your income per se, right? Because essentially or ideally, this is to secure you in the event that you may lose your job. And to be fair, we're in a economy right now, the environment, a lot of people are losing their job. So if you happen to be one of those people who still have a job, thank the Lord, because I know a lot of people are losing their jobs. And so you want to make sure that you are saving your money and you're preparing for rainy days, right? For emergencies, because I can tell you my car always is my car and my home. There's always something going on there, and you never know. There may be medical emergencies. Stuff just pop up. It's life, right? And we cannot predict the future. And so you want to make sure you're saving, I said at minimum 3 months at least, right, of your emergency fund money, like just your regular income, or you can look at just whatever your expense total is. You can make sure you have at least 3 months of that in the event that you lose your job. Now, with that being said, a lot of times we will say, have your 3 to 6 months of savings. Where are you going to put that? Now, you don't want to put that in the bank, okay? And you've been on this channel, if you've been on this channel long enough, you know I always say the bank is using your money to make money, right? The bank gives you 0.00000, right? 1% back on your money. I think they're trying to be more competitive now, but for the most of them, it's 0.001% back on your money. Guess what they're doing with your money? So let's say you have $1,000 in the bank. The bank can loan that money out up to 9 times. And when they're lending other people your money, they're making 9%, 7%, or whatever the percentage is back on your money, but they're giving you 0.000, right? 1% on your money. And so that is even why I got into the whole habit of investing. This is why I started investing, because when I saw my money sitting in a bank account, I was very upset. I was like, 1 cent, 0.001 cent. I'm like, what is the point of this? And so at any rate, a lot of people are not interested in learning the stock market and all that good stuff, right? And I've talked about different avenues that you can go, right? Like ETFs and those things. But this is another way, high yield savings accounts. And so you might be wondering, what are high yield savings accounts? Well, high yield savings accounts are accounts that give you way more back on your money. And so initially, when I started using high yields, they had up to 5% back on your money. So think about it. You have whatever amount of money. Let's say you have $1,000. If you put that $1,000 in a regular savings account, you're making 0.01 cents back on your money. However, if you were to put that $1,000 in a high yield savings account, you're getting 5% back. That is great, because the point of investing is to beat inflation, right? Some may say there isn't any inflation, but money loses value over time. And so you don't want to have your money just sitting in the bank account that is not giving you back yield. So your money sitting in the account just like that, or you just having cash on hand, you're losing value in your money that way. And so if you put it in a high yield savings account, however, you are indeed beating inflation. You are indeed beating your money losing value, because money or interest is incurring on your money just by sitting there. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to just make money in their sleep? I always talk about that. That's my mantra, right? And so right now the rates have dropped a bit, right? It's dropped to about between 3 to 5%. Now I haven't seen any 5%, but I've seen 3s, 3.5s, and those type of things. Now you may be wondering, where can I find these banks? Okay, so I bookmarked the page in my book. So we have Ally Bank, and that's the bank I use, right? Ally Bank in the book is a toolkit for raising wealthy kids. But in this book, I do talk a lot about, different ways and strategies that you can build your wealth, right? Of course, shameless plug here. How you can build your wealth, how you can invest in the stock market, in real estate, right? As well as how to start a business. And then I, secure that, because we have to protect it. So I talk about protection, which using a trust and stuff like that. But at any rate, so the banks that I've listed here, I listed 5. So we have Ally Bank, Marcus Goldman Sachs, or Marcus by Goldman Sachs. You have American Express, National Bank. They have a bank, believe it or not. Synchronous Bank and Discover Bank. And I heard that Apple had one. Chase has one. So there are many different banks that you can use, okay? And the beauty of these banks, the reason why they can give us so much more back on our money is because they don't have tellers. They don't have, different people where you're going up, and they don't have to pay additional staff. Right? So it's all electronic and all that type of stuff. Now, there is a drawback. There is a drawback. And I will tell you that after I say this. If you've enjoyed the information that I've been sharing so far on high yield savings accounts, do like this video, share, and subscribe, right? Because on this channel, my mission is to bridge the wealth gap, because I firmly believe that everybody deserves to be wealthy. And the only way to really be wealthy is to build your knowledge and to know how to get wealthy. So share this with a friend who you want to be wealthy as well. Now, one of the biggest drawbacks with your high yield savings account, and I've experienced this because I did have an emergency and I had to get my money out. The biggest drawback here is sometimes you have to wait 24 to 48 hours to get the money. So if there is an emergency that requires you to get the money on spot right now, right then and there, you might not be able to pull it out, right? But if you have, I'm not promoting that you should get a credit card, but if you have a credit card, you can use the credit card and then you can, transfer over back that money within that 24 to 48 hours and do what you got to do, right? And so for me, we had our HVAC to just, in the middle of winter, it was like, hey, no heat for you, right? And so we're in the middle of winter and we had to fix it. I think we had to come up with about $2,000, right? $2,000. And so what we ended up having to do, luckily the man came out, he gave us a quote. So we had enough time to transfer the money out, right? And so that's one of the biggest stipulation. There are more, but that's the biggest one that I can come up with. There's some that have fees and stuff like that. So do ask before you jump in, because there are some accounts when I was signing up, I almost signed up for a brokerage account. So definitely you're not looking for a brokerage account. You're just looking for a regular account, a bank account, right? That gives you more money on your money just by sitting there. And so do ask questions before you open the account, read before you open the account, because there are many scams out there, right? And you don't want to have your money in a brokerage account. No, you want to have your money just sitting in an account. They're still using your money, but at least they're giving you more interest back on your money. Well, I hope this video was helpful. Until next time.